everybody, and welcome back to Talya Full Tilt. I am Talya Ginsburg, recently back from New York. Dang it, I was rehearsing. No, let me do it again. Ready? Okay. Okay, sorry, this is probably so obnoxious for you. Okay, ready? No, I can do this. New York City. There you go, that was really good. Yes, I'm recently back from the most vibrant, engaging, energetic city in the whole world. I am obsessed with New York City. I love New York, and this is only the second time I've ever been, and my obsession started before the first time I ever went, so I'm very intuitive. But I have to say, I hate to brag. I say that a lot. I gotta say, I say I hate to brag a lot for someone who brags oh so much and has the need to say I hate to brag. But regardless, I hate to brag, but every couple months or so, someone will tell me that I seem like a New Yorker, or that I seem like I'm from New York, and I have to say, it is the best compliment, and no compliment makes me happier than that. And I think they're probably just implying that I walk or talk quickly, but I will infer whatever I want to infer from my compliment. It's my compliment. The first time I ever went to New York City, I went with my family when I was a teenager, and I was gonna say the highlight, but it's New York City. Oh, that's a highlight. The highlight was I went on like the NBC website, and there was some sort of like questions or concerns email, and I emailed them and I said my question and or concern is I really want to see Seth Meyers live. And sure enough, they said, here you go, and they gave me 4 free tickets to go see Seth Meyers live. It was incredible. It was, first of all, Seth was an incredible host. He was very down to earth, funny, smart, super sweet. So it was, you know, like when you watch someone so frequently and then they like fulfill all of what you have assumed they are. Because here's the thing, seeing a live taping of a late night show, I think would be enjoyable for anybody, but it was like very specifically, particularly enjoyable for me because when I was especially when I was in middle school and high school, I spent an inordinate amount of time watching late night television show clips on YouTube, like just hours and hours and hours. So this was just the most incredible experience. But at a certain time during the show, Seth Meyers took questions from the audience, and I asked him, did you ever meet Gilda Radner? And for those of you who do not know, Gilda Radner was one of the original cast members of Saturday Night Live. She was actually the first person cast on Saturday Night Live, so that's amazing. And he kind of laughed, like in a nice way. He laughed at me, and he was like, oh yeah, for sure, like right after meeting Abe Lincoln, because I was young, so I hadn't really realized like the timelines just did not overlap. So then later on, someone in the audience asks him, oh, what's the strangest or what's the weirdest question you've ever gotten? And he goes, I think, did you ever meet Gilda Radner might be it. And I was like, oh my God, do I have a banter with Seth Meyers now? Did we just become best friends? It's like he did a callback. He's joking with me. He was so nice. It was all just such a perfect experience. So this trip that I just went on, I went on a little girls trip with my mom. And the thing about my mom, she plans a vacation like it's a jailbreak, just details. Okay, so here's the thing. I think there are 3 kind of trips. One is a trip where you're seeing a friend or family and not necessarily in a particularly interesting place. So really the intent is mostly just that quality time. The second kind of trip is your lounging trip. You're gonna lounge at the beach. You're gonna spend a lot of time relaxing in a hotel. You're gonna tell yourself you're gonna read a book and then not. And then the third trip, which is New York, is going to a very exciting place. As an example, you're not gonna go all the way to Spain and not see everything there is to see and do everything there is to do, you know, as they say, when in Spain. So that was what New York was for us. I'm not kidding. This is not an exaggeration. The first day we were in New York, we walked between 19 and 20 miles. It's a lot of walking. And I will say, so we were there for 3.5 days. We did slowly taper down from there. The second day we still hit like 12 or 15 the second day. The third day, or the half day, we had to leave by 1 o'clock, and we still got a good 5 miles walking in, which is not incredible, but I mean, it's pretty good. So we really walked. One of the highlights, we saw Chicago on Broadway. Oh my gosh, if you have the opportunity, you have to go. I love live theater. I've loved every show I've seen, but I think this might be the best one I've ever seen. It was incredible because every time someone came on stage, imagine I'd be like, oh my gosh, that is a professional dancer. And then she'd start singing and I was like, oh my gosh, she's a professional singer. Like everyone was the epitome of triple threat. The main actress who played Roxy, she was hilarious. She just had that it factor. It was so good. But it was funny because recently I was like commiserating with a friend of mine who, like me, does a lot of performing, a lot of improv, stand-up, and we were saying it's so hard because when you see live theater or when you see live performances, you enjoy it so much, but then there's also a part of you that's like, dang, like Like for me, thought I just had food emerge from a tooth. Okay. It's good for you to know. I'm sure you wanted to know that. There's like, I get a little bit of FOMO. I'll think like, oh, that looks so fun. Or I'll get jealous more specifically for stand-up. So it's specific kind of stand-up comedians. Like as an example, if I'm watching Anthony Jeselnik or Nate Bargatze, Bargatze, yes, okay. I was wondering if I mispronounced his name. Yeah, okay, I'm good. Their delivery, their tone, their material is so different than my own. So I'm able to just fully enjoy how funny they are because it's like apples, pancakes. Like it's just so different. But then there's some comedians, like Taylor Tomlinson, she's hilarious. Taylor Tomlinson, I have watched Quarter Life Crisis so many times. She's hilarious, and most of the time I'm able to just enjoy, but once in a while I'll be like, oh man, like why did I think of that? Because we're both women of a similar age. I would say some of the topics we cover are somewhat similar. Like there's a little bit more of an overlap. I think we're both like more physical on stage, so it's like, but anyway, she's very talented. One of the other highlights, as I've mentioned many times on the show, I love the Real Housewives of New York City. New York City, particularly the early seasons, specifically because it was a very unique time I love how serious I'm talking about, specifically in this period of time, the implementation, there was a specific time in reality TV history. I did a lot about reality TV, I'm not gonna lie. Because it was kind of pre the idea of social media influencers. Sometimes I watch reality TV nowadays and it feels like someone is just like creating an image to eventually have a job with brand deals, But in the early seasons of The Real Housewives, they just had these ladies with these really big personalities just being unfiltered wild. Yes, my mom and I believe it was the second day, we were exhausted. So we stopped at a shoe store and we're just like sitting on these benches, just collecting our energy. And I turn my head and I look out the window and I see a tall woman, dark wavy hair, long legs, and I go, Kelly. I go, Mom, it's Kelly. And I go out of the store, she follows me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Kelly. So it was Kelly Ben-Simone from, I wanna say, seasons 2, 3, and 4. And I was like, I need a pen. My mom gives me a pen, I'm like, I need a paper. We can't find a paper, and so there were these people passing out flyers. I'm like, excuse me, can I please have a paper? Turns out it was an ASPCA flyer, so great, and I'm taking away from charity, awesome, and I just book it. I mean, Kelly is fast, so I book it down like, 2.5 blocks. I finally catch up to her. She's in a coffee shop. Apparently I live in 1700s because I forgot that there are these things called phones that take photographs. Although, here's the thing, because I thought about this extensively, I think it all worked out for the best because the chances of me being in a photo and then not immediately deleting it and having a meltdown about how I look is very slim. It's very slim. So I think getting an autograph was a good call. So I got an autograph. I run back to my mom and we have this, we are re-energized, the excitement of running into a Real Housewife of New York City, put a pep in our step. So we continued with our walk. And this lady, it was the most perfect New York moment. This lady, she just nonchalantly saunters by and she's like, wait a minute, were you running to or away from a housewife? Which is so funny. And then we just talked to her for until she turned on a different street. She was hilarious. But anyway, New York City, it was amazing. I had an absolute blast. Shout out to my mom for being such a fun person to travel with and for being so organized because honestly, I just had to show up and walk a lot. So I hope you enjoyed and I hope that you love New York as much as I do. Goodbye. Thank you.